strictly the dogs. And I remember when I first met him, and this, gosh, I can't tell you how many years ago, it was probably in the late 70s. I thought he was a pretty cocky individual.
He would have been if he, yeah.
You know,
oh, yeah.
who is this little cocky son of a bitch? You
Right.
know? And then as the years progressed and I watched him, he and I formed a very close bond to one another. And there were many times where he needed some assistance, and I was at the trial, and I would always take care of him. And he would do the same for me. I mean, I've had some illnesses and some episodes that we were at the same location at the same time, and he had a heart that people really weren't aware of on the surface. He was a very kind and gentle person, and he always took the best care of me as a judge. He had a great deal of respect for me, as I know he did for you, not only because of our fathers, but because of who we were. That was very important to him. And there are many social occasions when he and I have really just gotten to talk about how all of this evolved, how the silver bullet evolved, what his plans were, what he and Sherry wanted to eventually do. You know, but it was always like, and he called me Joni, and it was just a special occasion for me to come and judge her, just because of him. I mean, Sherry was always very, very busy and professional. Boyce was the hospitality chairman extraordinaire. Yeah, you know, and it was always, he took such good care of the people who were judging for him. And in the past months, he will call me out of the blue and say, well, how the hell are you? You know, he was always concerned about my well-being and where I was and what I was doing and when I was going to finally move to California. And, you know, my respect for him increased 1,000-fold. And I could tell as the months progressed that he was glossing over a lot of his real health issues. And I could tell just by the conversations that we had. And so when I last talked to him, he was again very concerned about my health. Hey, I'm tough, you know, compared to what your issues are. Let's talk about you. And he didn't want to do that. He said, I'm going to be just fine. I'm going to be just fine. And it was like, we always just talked about whatever's. I mean, it wasn't necessarily about dogs, it was about cattle or whatever the ongoing subject happened to be for the evening. And I always enjoyed those phone calls, and I will never forget the evening that he called me. It was probably about 7 o'clock, and he was driving truck. And he said, I'm coming in to Chiloquin. I'll be at the casino. He said, come and pick me up. So, you know, I hurried to the grocery store because I haven't got jack shit in the house. So I go to the grocery store, and about 3 days before I had gone to Grocery Outlet and bought this case of cheap wine. So I had that. And I go and pick Boyce up, and you know, we sat at the table, and this was probably about 10 o'clock when I picked him up. We sat there until 4 o'clock in the morning. And we drank wine, and we talked about ASCA and about, you know, the history of his point of view. It was fun. We probably got 2 hours of sleep, and he had to get back on the truck and come back to California. But there was another time when, this is really outside of the dog world, but he said he was coming up with his best friend who had passed away not too long ago prior to Boyce. And I had gone to Klamath Falls. and I come home and it's dark and all the lights in my house are on, and here's this trailer sitting out there. I'm going, what the heck is going on? I go in and Boyce is in the shower, and his friend, who I have never met, is in my living room with his dog, and I'm going, who are you? And here comes Boyce out of the shower all squeaky clean, and he's got the meat going. I mean, he's got the whole dinner. He says, I couldn't find the light for the kitchen. He said, so I hope you don't mind, I lit some candles. I mean, we had the best time. And the following day, they went out to shoot sage rats. They're like small
Prairie dogs.
yeah, you know. And so I set them up each with a TV tray on the outside of the house, and it kind of goes down to this little spring, and it's just full of all of these stupid sage rats. And I brought them Bloody Marys, and I brought them breakfast, and they sat there, the two of them, and just blinked away, just blinked away. And that is one of my fondest memories of him. He was so happy. And it was like I gave to him what he had always given to me, was the respect and the courtesy of catering to someone you really appreciate.
Yeah.
You know, he was just, you had to get to know him to really appreciate him.
He would always